Okay, so today we're looking at something that I think is really special. Around the turn of the last century, telegraphy was very important to communication across the world, and there were lots and lots of different sending devices, which were sometimes called keys, sometimes called transmitters. Um, Sometimes just called telegraph apparatus, and they were everywhere. And it was a pliable trade, just like any craftsman, carpentry, masonry, anything else. Telegraphy was a trade you could practice. So one of the most popular keys was the J.H. Bunnell steel lever key, which is not what we're looking at here. That would be something more like this one. And the steel lever key, I would say, that won the space race. These Bunnell keys, they're really popular. There's lots and lots of examples of them all over. Both of the keys that I've got here, they're both legged keys, which you see the two legs coming down from them. Same thing with this one. It's got the two legs coming down underneath. These were designed to be used in a telegraph office and bolted through the desk. The desk would typically have, either a drilled hole pattern for a key, or they'd just drill the holes just to match the key that they had there. And they're permanently affixed. The legs also serve as the electrical contacts. You can see how I've got these wired up. There's a wire going to each leg. Same thing here, a wire going to each leg. And these are cool. But the reason this key on the right is really special is because while this Bunnell key is beautiful, it was restored by its previous owner and given a nice clear coat. We don't know exactly when the Bunnell key was from. We know the patent date on here was 1891, but this key could have been made anywhere from 1891 all the way on up through maybe the 1920s. Of course, by the 1920s, legged keys were not in demand anymore. We had a lot of other keys following the same design. Like, here's another Bunnell. This one's probably made somewhere between 1915 and 1930, just based on its age and features. And then my very favorite straight key to use is actually this one here. And this one is actually a Bunnell S key. You can see the S right there on the middle of the steel cross lever. And we know pretty much that was made around 1918. But these legged keys, they're hard to date. These keys didn't have serial numbers. There wasn't a really good way to date them. And that's what makes this key so special. This is what we call a Steiner key. It was patented by Joseph Steiner. And what's cool here is if you look right there in the middle of the cross, it says patent applied for. And we know that the patent was both applied for and granted in 1893. So I can say with some certainty that this key was made in 1893. The patent was applied for in early 1893, and it was issued, sometime later in 1893. So everything after that would have just said patented. But this patent applied for key was definitely made in that interim between the time it was applied for and the time the patent was granted. So we have an actual dated key here, an 1893 legged straight key. I read the Steiner patent, and a couple of points in there worth calling out. Let me see if I can find the first one here. So Steiner writes, "My invention relates to telegraph keys. Its object is to produce an improved form of lever for telegraph keys, which shall be light, rigid, and of neat appearance, and which shall be at the same time simple and cheap in construction." So that's what Steiner really did here. You could see the way that piece of rod is. It's actually a U-shaped piece of rod that makes the steel lever. And by design, the contact is movable. You can move that back and forth. The spring adjustment is movable. The knob is technically movable. And then the spring on this, most keys of this era had a conical shaped coil spring. You can see an example of that right here. You see the coil spring that gives this key its resistance. Well, on the Steiner key, the spring is something more like you might see in a paper clip. It's just one loop of metal, but it does a really good job. It's got a nice responsive feel to it. So yeah, it's a really cool key. And 1893, so it's 2025 right now. So 125 plus 7, so 132-year-old key. This is a 132-year-old key, and it's still serviceable. Let's put this bad boy on the air and see if we can make a contact with it. First things first, let me get it hooked up, and let me turn on the microphone for the rig so that you'll have good audio. And I'm not transmitting right now, so let's just do oh yeah, that's no scratchiness, no issues whatsoever. I actually haven't used this key for a while. Anytime I haven't used a key for a while, I'm always prepared to have to, give the contacts a once over, run a dollar bill past them or something like that, just to wipe the dust off of them. But no, this has been in a piece of bubble wrap for the past 6 months or so, and absolutely ready to go back in service. And it's like I said, it's really responsive. It's got a great feel to it, and I really enjoy using these old straight keys. I don't see a lot of activity on the band. Looks like we have this frequency all to ourselves. Let's see if we can get a contact going. Little bit of a weird feeling having it up on this riser. I actually keep a similar key bolted to the desk where my rig is all the time, and that's just permanently bolted through there or permanently mounted to the desk. Well, you know what they say. If you call CQ for 10 minutes and no one answers, nobody wants to talk to you. And with that, I'll go ahead and cut the video off, and we'll either come back on a little later, or maybe tomorrow we'll just hunt some parks on the air. LH KA2. WB4 FDT. WB4 FDT. All right. Yeah, so not bad, not bad. Couple of quick contacts there, K2MLH and WB4FDT. But yeah, good show out, good performance. The 1893 straight key definitely holding its own. 132 years later, just as good as the day it was made. So yeah, Very, very cool. Thanks everyone for hanging out with me. And if you like this kind of content, definitely, do me a favor and give me a like and a subscription to the channel. Would love to be able to, get new videos directly in your feed as soon as they come out. And until next time,